the biggest potential good thing, because all these are potentials, NATO is around Gaza. I think for a lot of us, and I've
What is
said
that?
this. Yeah,
Wouldn't it be funny if I was like,
it's an enclave.
what is that?
It's an enclave run by
What's the fuss about?
run by like a really dope boy band named
Hmm.
Hamas. Anyway, you should study them. But
Hmm.
so there are a lot of signs that Kamala Harris will be better on Gaza, and I want to talk about some news this week. But before we go there, I do think, and Linda Sarsour said as much recently, that it is absolutely because of the mass outpouring of protests again around Joe Biden's policies on Israel and support for Israel's genocide that he's gone. Now, the Pod Save guys won't give that win to us. The David Axelrods and the Ezra Kleins, they won't give that win to us. But it is there, and it's a win that we need to claim, and we absolutely need to remember it. It's the same way, that Barack Obama's victory was large part because he didn't vote for the Iraq war because he wasn't there, and Hillary Clinton did. And the anti-war movement was not having it. And the anti-war movement was like, I'm done with 8 years of war. Fuck that. Let's get out of Iraq. And so we need to claim taking down Butcher Biden as part of this. Whatever you think of Kamala Harris and whether or not she's going to be better, but there are signs that she could be better. And I understand that there are also setbacks, but specifically former Biden officials who resigned as a result of Biden's foreign policy with Israel have said they think she would be better. Let's see. 4 other protest resignees who spoke with National Secretary Daley of Politico hope that a Harris presidency would introduce a more progressive Middle East policy. 2 current administration officials who've been critical of Biden's Israel policy also said they're hoping Harris will usher in a new era. With a President Harris, a 2-state solution may finally be possible. One of the officials who wasn't authorized to speak publicly told NatSec Daily. Also, Lily Greenberg Call, who's quit, the first, I believe, one of 2 Jewish officials who quit. One guy was in the military, quit as special assistant to the chief of staff of the Interior Department after a year over her opposition to Biden's unwavering support for the Israeli war strategy. Says her personal experience working for the vice president as Iowa caucus organizer for her primary campaign gives her hope. Quote, Harris must listen to the majority of American voters and use all of the administration's leverage, including by halting offensive weapons transfers, to push for a lasting ceasefire and hostage exchange. She said shortly after Biden dropped his bid for re-election Sunday, I've worked for Kamala. I know she'll do the right thing. Now, this is on top of, we know that she was about to give, a speech, I believe on the anniversary of Bloody Sunday, and her remarks about Israel were pretty strongly worded. The White House edited those remarks, and we found out about it. And she has said that she actually, according to the Wall Street Journal, just reporting today, that she's probably, if elected, not going to keep around Secretary of State Blinken or General Lloyd Austin. So that's huge. Getting rid of Blinken is fucking great. I want to see that dude like start his bassist guitar tour in Tel Aviv, just full. He plays the bass and he thinks it makes him cool. Just like fully the only country that will have you is Israel.
Yeah. I mean, the like yeah, I mean I think it's right that like one of the I mean there were lots of warning signs about Biden all along, and but the fact that like the Gaza policy was going to it was very credibly going to cost him not just Michigan but like youth voter turnout in general, and and like the argument that I kept having with liberals is like the job of a candidate is to win elections.
Yeah.
um and this is one of the lessons of being a union organizer is like I've lost, it's never the workers fault. You know what I mean? If we try to do an organizing drive and we lose, it's never the workers fault, it's always the organizer's fault.
That's interesting. I mean, because that could easily go the other way. But you're totally right. And it's like, well, why didn't these stupid workers realize what was good for them? It's like, well, you didn't do the job.
Yeah, right. So I think like just I mean it's like Biden's perspective has not, it's still like, hasn't moved beyond Yitzhak Rabin. Like, you know,
No.
I mean, so like hasn't sort of come to terms with, I mean, and like when I talk to older people, there's just still this level of like wishing that the Israel that it was still some Israel of their nostalgia,
Yeah,
and
it
not
exists in
the
their
Israel,
minds and their
not
memories.
not the Israel that currently exists. And like, so, you know, just for someone to be pragmatic, like about it, and not like running on your refreshing change of pace, and she has some amount of cushion. Let's not forget, to be able to take a different position because she fucks Jews, um, and uh, that
Uh,
that that
Dougie,
for
second gentleman, is
that
Jewish.
oh yeah, that first gentleman dick goes a long way, to her being able to, that they can't, that she's going to be shielded, uh, from allegations that she, hates Jews or doesn't understand Jews,
Right,
because
right.
like they, not,
I
they
mean,
don't
I
only
say that I use that all the time. Like,
I know. She doesn't only post pictures of like Passover, like your typical, but she'll post pictures with Dougie and like Shavuot and Simchat Torah, like the whole, like Tisha B'av, like
deep cut holidays.
the deep cut holidays.
Okay, so to that, and I think people will probably really want us to talk about Netanyahu because Bibi is coming this week. Tomorrow he's going to address Congress, and today he's meeting with effing Donald Trump at Mar-a-Lago because, of course, he is. And according to reporting, Kamala Harris is not going to preside over the Senate while Benjamin Netanyahu speaks to Congress. Again, this was an invite from Republicans. It's one that many people have said should not be happening, from Bernie Sanders to even former Israeli officials. A former Mossad head and Israeli business leaders have called on Republicans to not host Netanyahu for, obviously, I don't really think they're as concerned with war crimes as they are with his financial crimes. But hey, so is his buddy Trump, just sort of right in that. But she has decided to have a private meeting with Benjamin Netanyahu. So Kamala Harris will not attend his joint address to Congress, according to Politico, but will conduct a separate bilateral meeting with the Israeli Prime Minister this week at the White House, according to an aide who was granted anonymity. Apparently, in the one-on-one meeting with Netanyahu, Harris plans to reiterate her commitment to Israel's security and right to defend itself, but will also, quote, convey her view that it is time for the war to end in a way where Israel's secure, all hostages are released, and the suffering of Palestinian civilians in Gaza ends, and the Palestinian people can enjoy their right to dignity, freedom, and self-determination. Look, I know it's an aide and I know it's not her, but like saying that we believe in the dignity and self-determination of the Palestinian people, that's a step. That's a nice step. Other than like, yeah, of course I believe Palestinians are not animals. Of course, yeah, yeah, peace. So we'll see, NATO. I mean, I think it's not insignificant. I think it sucks she's meeting with him. Fuck him. He's a racist piece of shit. He's absolutely going to say racist shit behind her back, just like we know he did with Obama. He's going to be like, what a DEI nominee. But the fact that she's not low-key endorsing him by being present during his dumbass address and choosing to do it privately, I think is good.
And right, and doesn't have to deal with the like just all of the scrutiny of like the optics around her having to sit behind him and applaud or not applaud,
Yes.
and stand
Yes.
or not stand at every, like, that she's taking herself out of that. Like, I'm sure I mean, I agree with you, like it's not enough, of course, but it's a, refreshing change from like Biden doing nothing more ever than calling up Netanyahu and telling him to cut the malarkey. um you know
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and I don't think, again, there are people who are like mad that she's spoken at APAC. Everyone's spoken at APAC, right? I do not think she would speak at APAC going forward, especially considering where their money comes, now that we know their money comes in large part from Republicans supporting Republican candidates, supporting um, centrist candidates against, Jamal Bowman and other progressives. So TBD, we will see. What's going on, Frantifa? If you haven't already, subscribe to this channel right now. Hit that button. And also, you can become a patron and support the show every single week. Get access to bonus episodes and exclusive merchandise. Patreon.com/bitchuation room. Do